Well, hello, guys. It's another Sunday, another episode. Welcome to Relationship Matters by Kim and Odingo.
Pleasant good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are listening to our podcast.
It's true because people are in different time zones.
Indeed.
So today we are talking about temptation. That's an interesting topic.
It's a grown-up topic.
Temptation. Basically, what keeps you from what prevents you from being faithful? We are talking because, we're trying to keep as up to date as possible with our podcast.
That's right.
And this week, even last week, there was a lot of dance and sound in the media with regards to this relationship guru called Derek Jackson, who's supposed to be giving you advice on your relationship coach.
I've never heard of Derek Jackson.
But maybe that's a good thing because trust me, and a lot of people put their hopes in this man. You understand with regards to the advice that he gave, but he also happened to be having multiple affairs in his relationship.
Right.
So we're not concentrating on that. The reason why I'm talking about temptation, this is just to say, sometimes in a relationship, in a marriage, we have to deal with temptation. And basically, we want to talk about it as openly as we can. You understand? Because there are many reasons why people go out of their relationship for whatever reason. We want to just address certain issues today and how you can what can you do to stay in your relationship, and what are the possibilities. Why do people tend to go out? Why can't you be focused on the one relationship? So Mr. Jackson, from a man's point of view, I'm going to try to break the ice. What do you think the problem is in terms of keeping the faith, just staying focused in your relationship? Because I think that's people are struggling with that. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I think that you are 100% correct when you say, in a relationship there'll be temptation. I think in everything and in anything there'll be temptation. You go to work, and it does not really matter how difficult your job is, how easy your job is, and how much you love your job. Somebody at work will tempt you to give them a slap.
Okay.
It might sound harsh, but this is the reality.
So basically, temptation is around everywhere.
It is around, it's everywhere. It comes at you when it is expected.
But I'm talking about the temptation that's going to lead you to...
That's okay. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
I'm getting to that. So I'm just saying that temptation, first and foremost, let's get our feet under the table by declaring and make clear that temptation is normal.
Okay.
It's normal, it's natural, it's just like breathing.
Okay.
Anything that you have, someone else is looking at and may desire.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody is looking at you and they are desiring you.
Yeah.
Somebody is desiring your man or your woman, and somebody is desiring you. Or some people, not somebody.
Or somebody's desiring your relationship.
Right.
Not just even you. They want what you have as a couple.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes that's not just... Some people, like, I think you showed me an article this week where a model was paid or was enticed with about 70,000.
Yes, she was approached.
She was approached with 70,000 pounds, so she could break somebody else's marriage. She can
to destroy.
So we know people are out there doing some serious stuff. By the way, that is just pure evil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there are some people who, if they are single, they will try to see how much relationships they can break up. That's just some people. Some people, they believe the only person that should be happy is them. So if they're in a relationship, they're okay. If they're not in a relationship, they don't know why people bother. But you're asking, the question was, why, as a man, from a man's perspective, why do men step out? Is that your question? Yeah?
100%.
Right. So I can't speak for all men. I can't. But I know I have a few theories.
Okay, let's.
I
hear them.
know that there's a few reasons why I know I did step out from time to time when I used to be doing my thing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's difficult to actually pin down one thing. But I know sometimes there's a certain level of growth that has not yet been reached.
Okay.
So you're in a relationship, and probably in the earlier stages, before the relationship is fully established, you might tell yourself that, right, you know what, we are probably intimate, but we are not exclusive.
Yeah.
So me and you might be physical, doing things that people who are not in a relationship should not be doing. So we might be doing bedroom activities. But I still believe we're not exclusive. So I could still go and step. But you now might think, well, listen, we're exclusive. So why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So I might not see it as cheating when you do. But in a marriage situation, it's completely different. In a marriage situation, you might find that some men will believe that, listen, it's not cheating unless I fall in love with the woman. I could do a little thing on the side, but my wife is who I'm really with. So you tend to find that a lot of men and sometimes a lot of women would make a redefinition. They will redefine extramarital or affairs. They will redefine it. Jada Pinkett call it. What did she call it? What did she say?
I forgot the word, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett used a term, entanglement.
Entanglement.
So she didn't have an affair.
She was involved in an
Entanglement. But even that song's worse because it sounds like she was in a spider's web. You see? So I'm just saying, for me, as far as I am aware, it's when sometimes you're with somebody and you as we say home, your eyes still long. You see a woman, she looking good. Some woman, she see a man and she think, well, I'd like a slice of that. And that's what they do. I can't speak for all men, but I just believe that sometimes when you feel incomplete within yourself, you will go and do something. You might go and do something silly.
So correct. So you made a very valid point there. When you feel incomplete,
you may feel incomplete within yourself, and you are searching for that completeness. You may feel it with your wife when you are with your wife, when you are around your wife, but there is still the desire for something more to complete you.
So you see, this is what I don't understand as a woman, and I'm going to be really raw here.
Right.
You understand? Because I need to speak for my sisters.
Right.
The women who are trying to understand why men believe they need to step out.
Right.
When you're saying you feel incomplete, you understand? And I believe as your wife or your girlfriend, we complete each other. I complete you. You understand? What is it about? Because at the end of the day, some people blame themselves. They say, am I not enough? Is there something wrong with me? Because I have everything that the other woman have physically. Because at the end of the day, maybe you're looking for the big butt or whatever attracted you, whatever you are looking for, your wife has it. You understand? Right. But then two months, a year down the road, you see something else and you now want piece of that action and you're saying you feel incomplete. A lot of women don't understand that. That makes zero sense to us because we are here committing ourselves. A lot of people are here giving themselves 100% in their relationship. You understand? And then somebody says, I personally feel incomplete. The problem is not me. The problem is not even with the other woman that you are looking at, because the other person is not going to complete you. If your wife cannot complete you, the other person is not going to complete you. I think a lot of people do it because they have a big ego. They tell themselves, I can step out of my relationship because I can. I'm going to see if I can get away with this. Basically, I want to have all my cake and I want to eat it. And the only time they feel sorry is when they get caught. But basically, sometimes you step out of the relationship. That relationship gives you more stress than the one that you have in your household. You're not, because this person is demanding so much of your time, so much of your finances, that now it's putting pressure on your household. You're looking for something to complete. I don't get when men say these things. You know what I mean? So I think the problem is with self. Like, you must have a problem for yourself. And when you get to the point whereby you're saying, I feel incomplete, I think you get to that stage of saying, we need to take a break. Because it doesn't matter who I sleep with, who I step out with, I need to fix me. Because it doesn't matter what you're searching for, because you're trying to fill a void that you believe sex is going to fix it, this woman is going to fix it, that person is going to fix it, and then you end up having multiple relationships. None of them is going to completely, you're still back to zero. And the only reason why these men surrender themselves, like this brother, Derek Jackson, he got caught. You understand? He realized, oh, well, now there's so much to lose. My wife wants a divorce. There's the children involved. Now, all of a sudden, you realize, whoa, I have way more to lose now. You see, I was feeling incomplete. Now I'm going to be completely zero, because now
I'm not saying I am not saying that that's his situation.
Yeah, but I'm just making a general point here, because I think sometimes when people are saying they feel incomplete, it has nothing to do.
But that's not for every man.
That's not for every man. I understand that.
Right.
But I'm trying to understand when people say, you have to understand it from a woman's point of view. When somebody says, oh, I feel incomplete, that other woman there is not going to complete you.
But you can't speak for that other woman, nor for that man. Mm-hmm. So, right, let me just step in there quickly. Let me just say to you, are you finished?
Yes.
Right. There's a few things that you touched on that I'd like to touch on. I'll try to remember as much as I can.
Okay.
First thing first is, you said they want to have their cake and eat it as well.
Yes.
Right. That don't work for a man.
Oh.
Right. So, there's a few points I want to touch on.
Okay.
That don't work for a man.
Okay.
Men don't do well with having the cake and want to have their cake and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
If you give a man a choice, he will just eat the cake.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want to have his cake and eat it. Mm-hmm. He just want to eat the cake. There's no point in having a cake. Men are very simple creatures. I could speak for all men when I say this bit. A man is not going to think about how can he have his cake and still eat it. He's going to think about just eating his cake. Very simple, very straightforward. That's the reason why when a woman is communicating with a man, she has to first and foremost understand that she can't be cryptic. She can't give him signs. She have to tell him straight. Okay. Men are not really good at reading between the lines and figuring things out. You have to tell them directly. Men are very simple. We are complex and complicated in other things. Mm-hmm. But we are very straightforward when it comes to communication. We're not going to think about having our cake and eat it as well.
Yeah.
Men will tell lies, but they don't have the time to be trying to sustain a life for too long. They get fed up after some time and they just start losing their cool. Quick. Okay. That's what it is. So I'm just saying, men don't want to have their cake and eat it. The only option there is we want to just, cake is there, we're going to just eat the cake. End of story.
Okay.
Keeping it simple. Mm-hmm. Sounds funny, but it's very practical and straightforward.
Okay.
Right. When you said something and you are 100% correct. In the question you ask is, when a man say he feels incomplete, I'm just saying one of the reasons why is some men, they say they feel incomplete. There are many other reasons why a man would cheat. Some reason why a man would cheat would be he's in a relationship where he's in the relationship, but he's not really a part of it. It's just happening. Mm-hmm. He's part of it, but that's not really where his heart is. So he's everywhere else.
Okay.
But I can't speak for all men, but I can tell you a few scenarios that I'm very familiar with. Mm-hmm. Right. Also, you said that you don't understand how a man could say feel incomplete and the other woman can't complete him. Mm-hmm. And I do get that. And I totally agree. That's right. If a man says he feels incomplete or a man feels that way, he will do whatever he feels he needs to do. Because he has to first be honest with himself. And that's the reason why he would sleep with another woman or other women. Because he feels that this is what makes him feel complete. Not because he feels that he's not complete as a human being, but emotionally, that sleeping with other people is doing something to him emotionally and psychologically. It's meeting some kind of need. If you are hungry, would you not go and feed? Would you not go and try to find some food?
But you do have the food.
No.
The food is at home.
No,
you've got food in the fridge.
No,
if you're hungry, the food is here.
But it's not the same thing.
How is it not the same thing?
I'm just explaining to you.
Yeah.
That if you are hungry, would you not go and try to eat?
Yeah.
Right.
The food that I have in my house. So basically, what you want to do, you want to order a takeaway.
Everything
because
you have.
That's how you're stepping out of the relationship.
There are people who have food in their cupboard and will go to the shop and buy something because they have the taste for something different. I've been at home here and I would see dinner would be cooked and it would be rice and whatever, and I would say, you know what, I feel like eating some saltfish and some steamed food. So I'll go and I'll buy some Caribbean food. I'll buy some saltfish, some yam, some potato, some dashings, and steam something. Because that's what I desire, that's what I'm feeling for.
Yeah.
That's what my taste buds are calling for. So sometimes some men get the desire for something different.
Yeah, but I think some men have to be careful.
Well, you asked me a question and I'm answering the question.
No, I hear you, baby.
Yeah.
But when you're in a relationship, I'm talking about people who are in a committed. Let me just make sure I'm being very clear. Because if you are in an open relationship and you have both agreed that the relationship doesn't mean anything. You know, there are some people, they say they are with each other like with benefits.
No, but we're speaking about cheating. So cheating, nobody's agreeing to that.
Right. So nobody's agreeing to that. But what you're talking about, the desire to have something else, like you say here, you want something different. You're in a relationship. Yeah. You're supposed to be committed to that person in a relationship. And all of a sudden now you're having a desire to eat something else outside. Of course, yeah.
That's
you're
what
going to
cheating is.
Pursue it and say, you know what? I fancy, boy, that girl over there, she look good, you know, that red skin girl over there, or that one, they have the big whatever. And, you know, instead of actually just looking and lusting, because that also is cheating, you've now gone outside and pursue it.
And achieve that pursuit.
And achieve. Yeah. And you do it with what? Thinking that you may never get caught.
Some men don't care if they get caught or not.
So why waste my time? Because if you do not care, I'm
looking at temptation.
Yeah, we're looking at temptation and why. I'm just saying, but why? If you are prepared to step out,
right,
and you don't even care about the repercussions, like getting caught and all of that, the consequences to that.
Right.
You understand? Basically, you're making a very open and a very bold statement to tell me, I really do not care for that relationship that I am in currently. Because at the end of the day, I am now stepping out. I am breaking a bond that I have made. I'm breaking the commitment that I have made with this person by stepping out.
But it don't work like that. It does that. But that's what I'm trying to... The point that I'm trying to make, where I'm actually going with this is, you are looking at this as if this like this happening to you. I'm speaking about it from a man's perspective, some men, and I'm speaking about it from the other person's perspective. And all the thought you are saying, well, if he do this, then it doesn't go that far in his head. I'm telling you about someone who has a desire to fulfill the need. You will argue it's a wrong need, it's a whatever argument you want to present, whatever truth that stands behind it. I am saying that temptation comes, he pursues. Some men don't care, some men do. Some men are just weak. They are good men, but they are weak. And that's just the bottom line. It's not because they hate the person that they are with. It's not because their intention is to hurt the woman. It's not because it is their desire to break their family apart. It is just that some men are very weak. And that's just the bottom line. That's what it is. It's going to cause a lot of pain. He could pick up a disease. He could go and take it back home to his wife. These are all facts. But what I'm saying is, this is how things happen between, as you're saying, like with this guy, we don't know what his motives were. We don't know why he was doing what he did.
I think he did it because he believed he could get away with it.
Well,
It's ego.
I think so.
Yeah.
I do definitely think probably that's the case.
And even the interview that he had was very pathetic because he's talking about, you know, he and his wife are patching things up and, you know, they're going through counseling. But in the interview, he's referring to himself as a third person. He's saying, instead of saying, I did so and so, he's saying, yeah, Derek Jackson did this. And I was listening to this guy speaking. I'm thinking, are you for real, bro? You understand? Right. So for me, it's, you know, if you've done something and you really want to take responsibility for it, you say, you use the word, I messed up. I went out of my relationship. I did this. Not Derek Jackson did this. And who you talking about? You're talking about yourself. You calling out your full name. And that just like for me, again, you know, I looked at this man and I'm thinking, you're not taking this thing serious. This for you is just a joke. This is just another publicity stunt. You understand? And you have this woman there holding her hand so tightly. You understand? Claiming, you know, you guys are on the right path. And you know what upset me about this whole thing? Then they put God involved in it. Oh, you know what? God has forgiven me and God has done this. And then we are now working. I'm thinking, yeah, just leave God out of this nonsense.
Fair enough.
You understand?
Yeah.
But
anyway.
anyways, I am just looking, like we said, we want to talk about the subject temptation. And in terms of, like you said, people are doing it for whatever reasons that they're doing it. They're doing it, number one, because they can get away with it. Number two, it's about ego. Number three, some people, like you said, you know, they feeling incomplete and they just don't care about the consequences.
Yeah.
Some people do it for whatever reason that they feel that they need to.
Yeah.
But we're speaking about how can you what can we do to sustain our marriage? What can we do? Because as a sister, as a wife, and you want your relationship to work, and you're being faced, women too face temptation.
Of course.
You understand? We women as well go out and we go, boy, that brother look good, you know. But that doesn't mean we step out a lot. I'm not saying women don't cheat. There's a lot of women. This is 50-50 here. You understand? Because just as hard as a brother cheats, there are women who are hardcore doing this nonsense as well. But I'm talking about the committed sisters who are trying to make this thing work. And then they look at a brother and say, boy, he look good, you know. But you know, that's where we keep it. You understand?
Not all women. They go further. But I was saying is we were looking at, I understand that. And it's fair. It's fair game. It's fair game. Men cheat, women cheat. But I wanted to finish a point I was making. If a man cheats, and you had said something about you know, a woman feels, what did I do wrong? Was I not enough?
Yes.
And clearly she would feel she was not enough because he cheated.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. But if you have a problem, if I have a problem with lying or stealing, it's not because somebody else. My house could be full of toilet paper, and I just can't help myself by going out to the public toilet and steal toilet paper. You see?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I have toilet paper at home or I don't have toilet paper at home. It has to do with me and my fingers being sticky when I'm not at home. So and I have a desire for something like that.
You have a little addiction. There are people who actually have sex addiction.
But as I'm saying,
yeah.
So that when a man is saying he's incomplete, he's going and he's doing what he's doing, sometimes when a woman is looking at, if the spouse is looking at, well, probably I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes it is just the person. Mm-hmm. It is just the one who's done the thing that you have to take yourself out of it. Because for some healing to take place, that person have to face themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to face themselves.
Yeah.
They have to stand up and take responsibility. They have to accept. And sometimes it's really difficult when your wife or your husband is now taking it upon themselves to blame themselves.
I think that's the most painful part of it. Because you are trying to understand why is this happening? What
And it's
have I
natural,
done
it's
wrong?
normal. And
You
that
understand?
and that
Because
is
I am
normal.
here doing everything. You have to see it
Of
from another
course, of
person's
course.
point of view.
Of course.
I am here doing everything. I am I'm giving this relationship 100%. Sometimes I'm giving this relationship 150%. I'm in. Finance wise, I'm in. I'm looking after the household. Baby, there's a lot of women who put in more than 100%.
And a lot of men.
And a lot of men who do. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
You come home, dinner is cooked, laundry is done, the kids are sorted out. You understand? You guys are working towards something. And then somebody still steps out of that relationship and create a mess. And it's not about, we have to think about the things that we do and how it affects the other person, because you don't know what the other person is doing outside that relationship.
Nope,
that
you do
person
not.
that you are messing around with, you're not keeping tabs on them 24/7. You understand? And some men go to the point whereby they don't even protect themselves.
Of course.
You understand? And now you come home to your wife, and then this is how people pass on things like AIDS and all these different diseases. You understand? To your innocent wife who's at home, or your innocent woman who's at home, and she knows nothing about you running around. You understand? But what do you think in terms of what can prevent somebody from going outside the relationship?
I think it begins with. I think it begins with self.
It begins with
It
self.
begins with self, but
Yeah.
also I think you have to, as in a relationship, it's always good to support the person that you are with. Make them feel
Loved.
well. You have to understand how they accept love. Because I could love you and show you love, but you don't have to see it as love. You might just see it as your baby and me, you're pampering me. Why pampering me like that for? I'm an independent man. I like to be. So we have to the communication needs to be very
That's why
open.
love language is very important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
But for me personally, how I look at it is, it's important for one to appreciate and know. And sometimes people get in relationship with people that they know have a problem with being faithful. And when the person is unfaithful, they're shocked as if they never knew it before. I'm just being straight.
Because they thought they would be the person who changed that person.
That's okay. That's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it starts with self. I think that if you know you're susceptible to falter, you're susceptible to it's most likely if you get tempted, you will give in. Listen, try to work hard on yourself. Try your level best. You could only do the best you can do. But don't waste nobody's time. If you believe you will cheat, I think the best thing is for you to try very, very hard to let that person know, listen, here is where I am, and try to be honest and see if you and that person could come up with some strategy, some system, come up with some way for both of you to strengthen
Because
yourselves.
you could be a serial cheater.
Possibly. Yeah, you can. I'm
There are
telling you.
people who are like
Yeah,
that.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
They can't help this. Every relationship that breaks down is a result of them stepping out. They
Yeah.
can't stick to one person.
Yeah.
You know?
That's very difficult.
Yeah,
But
and even
the
if
thing
they
is,
commit, they'll say, "Boy, the longest I can commit is 1 year without actually stepping out."
But that's being honest. And I
Yeah.
think as well, I think being faithful to your spouse, it's something that becomes easier with time. When I was a lot younger, I never really saw the sense in being faithful. I liked the idea of it, but I never felt that it was something that I could confidently and comfortably embrace.
Just being
Because
one person.
as a Caribbean man, I grew up where I saw people stepping out all the time. So I never really saw, I knew it was the right thing to do. And I always thought that when I was when I was a boy, growing up, I always thought when I grew up, I want
What
to
do
be.
you mean you knew that was the right thing to do?
To be faithful to your wife.
Okay.
To be faithful to your girlfriend. To be
So
faithful
you
to the
knew
person
being
you're
faithful
with.
was right.
Was the right thing to do.
But you saw a lot of men stepping out.
I
So you
grew
knew
up-
that was
yeah,
just
that's-
something that men do.
That was exactly. So
Okay.
to me, it was a natural thing.
Okay.
And this is a cultural thing. It is not.
Not just
Caribbean men.
African men do that a lot too.
Yeah, but
yeah.
that is it. But I don't. It is not like if we speak about it in the Caribbean to say that you go and cheat, you have to. It's not. But you see it. I grew up and I saw it and I thought it was natural. I thought it was normal. And that's how I felt. And I also knew that it was normal and also natural to be faithful.
You know, it's so funny about this temptation thing, because what the temptation is doing now, temptation and affairs are now creating different types of relationships.
Oh yeah, polyamorous relationship.
Exactly. Where
And-
is it
and it's fine.
is it the one where three people are now the
No,
throuple?
that's a throuple.
Yeah, the throuple now, because people say, you know what, if he's going to be with this other woman and I still want to be with him, then now all three we just, you know, we come to an
close this
arrangement,
down between
and then
three of us.
exactly, and we say, okay, yeah, now it's three of us. You understand? There's actually relationships now where it's four. I think I saw something recently on Snapchat where this dude had four ladies, and they all knew each other. They all live in the same house together. You understand? I'm thinking this is where we are today. You know what I mean? It's like, my goodness, you know, we've now taken away the man and woman scenario to the, you know, it's now acceptable to have a threesome. It's now acceptable to have a, what do they call it, the throuple. It's now acceptable to have, so everybody's doing what works for them, because they say, listen, I rather have this scenario than not have you at all.
Yeah.
But for me, what opens my eyes with this situation, I could be wrong, there's a lot of people who do not love themselves. There's a lot of people out there who's suffering with low self-esteem, self-hate. There's, like you said, something is missing out of the equation, and they're trying to find themselves.
But it's not the other person.
You know,
It is the
It
individual.
It is that individual.
Yeah, so I can't
And for
say
me,
I'm going to cheat because I cheat. Is not because you are incomplete.
Because-
I'm
exactly.
cheating because something is wrong with
something
me.
is wrong. But what I'm saying is, if something is wrong with you, I'd like to close on this, because I know we can talk about this forever.
Yeah.
If the problem is with you, why don't you try to work on yourself?
Because I don't realize that I have the problem until I get into a relationship, and then I falter. I always
But if you
believe.
are a serial-
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I believe this is what I want. I want to be faithful. I want for me and you to be exclusive.
That's why I talked
so
about
we
the
get
cake and
together.
wanting to eat
No.
it.
We get together. No, a little bit different.
Yeah.
We get together because this is what I desire. I desire you.
Okay.
I desire you and you only. I get together with you, me and you, and everything is perfect for about 6 months or a year. And then I start getting the desire. I shake it off because I don't believe it's going to lead anywhere.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that me and a friend at work, or me and somebody from somewhere before, or something, it just kicked back up, and then I realized, oh my God, I've slipped up again.
Yeah.
But it's not because I don't have the intention to. It's not
Yeah.
because I don't want to. It is because of temptation. And I don't have the strength to fight the temptation. But I fought it for as long as I could have, but I failed. But I might fail until I succeed. You see? So sometimes even within the failing, losing to the temptation, sometimes it takes some time before you actually could become successful. You see?
Yeah.
But it is for the people who they don't want to. They don't want to. They're desiring to. It's not a temptation. It's a temptation, but it's not like they've made a mistake. It's they've accepted this is who they are. This is what they want to do. I want to be with you. I mean, this is the side chick and the side chick and the, or you're my main squeeze, you're my main woman, or you're my wifey, and I have all the other.
Yeah.
Some men are, and some women are comfortable with that. This is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one main person, but I have all the other bits on the side.
Yeah.
And that's just that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think going back to the point I was making about working on yourself, I think that's very important.
Oh, yeah.
You know, don't come into, if you know and you've realized you have those issues, work on yourself. You
Very
understand?
important.
Because the moment you start, you know, getting involved in relationships, and the moment children are involved, long-term relation, you know, like somebody's committing themselves to you, that for me, that's a big deal. We are no longer kids. Like we say, in this podcast is big people's business.
Of course.
You understand? We're not teenagers. We're not in high school. You understand? And for me, if I'm committing myself, if we're doing this, we're doing this. relationships are not always perfect. No one is perfect. We are gonna mess up every so often. You understand? But I think it's very important to try to work very hard and sustaining what you have, trying very hard to appreciate what you have, trying very hard. I think we've mentioned that before in one of our podcasts, to water the grass wherever you are. You understand? Because sometimes you might be thinking something looks better, the grass is greener on the other side, but it's not. You understand? The person that you are trying to seek or the person that you are trying to look for might give you more headache than the one that you are with right now. You really do not know. You just want to explore, you want to have some fun. That fun can cost you your life. That fun can cost you your spouse's life. You understand? Because listen, when people are walking around with the deadly diseases, it's not written on their faces. AIDS is not written on anybody's face. You understand? All these different these what do you call them, STDs, they are not written on nobody's faces. You could be easily fooled. You know what I mean? A psycho, you come across these women who have, listen, some people are crazy out there. It's not written on their faces. They look really good. You understand? They look really, really good. And then you realize, 2 minutes later, you have this little affair. Somebody's stalking you 24/7. Somebody's, ringing you 24/7. Somebody's like, and you want to tell this person, just chill. But now it's too late. You know what I mean? There's a lot of craziness out there. So just try to work on yourself, work on your relationship, water your grass. You understand? And if you feel incomplete, work on yourself. Because it always, like we say, starts with self. You understand? Yeah, I hope you guys have benefited something from this podcast Temptation. My husband and I did get a little bit heated. I think we are very both opinionated. Is that the word?
I think it might be. I think let's stay with that one for now. Yeah, let's use that one for now. Yeah.
So Mr. Jackson will make his point, and trust me, I will tear him down if I have to, respectfully. So we just want to listen. If you are in one of these relationships whereby one of you have stepped out or you're thinking about it, really consider working on yourself. Dive deep inside as to what is making you have those thoughts. You understand? And if you are feeling that whatever you have right now is not working, you might as well just tell this person, let's take a break. Let me find myself first. Don't waste nobody else's time while you try to sleep around and do all these different things with yourself. So we thank you so much, and we'll meet again next Sunday. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week.